That's it. Well, I guess we're probably ready to get started here. Okay. Welcome, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our regular meeting of the City of Independence Board of Adjustment. The board was created by the city charter to hear applications for variances from the zoning ordinance requirements and to hear and render decisions on interpretations of the requirements of the zoning ordinance. The board consists of 5 voting members. It requires 4 affirmative votes for approval of any variance or interpretation. All cases on the agenda will be heard in the order listed. The order of proceeding for each case shall be as follows. Applicant shall present his case. Persons in favor of the variance shall present their evidence. Persons opposed to the variance shall present their evidence. The applicant shall be given a rebuttal period, and then the public hearing will be closed, and no further testimony will be accepted. The normal procedure is that the board will discuss and take action on the application. All meetings of the board are open to the public. Anyone in the audience who thinks for any reason they wish to talk before the board tonight, please stand and take the oath. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth in all matters pertaining to the cases before the Board of Adjustment? Please say, I do. I do. Thank you. Please be seated. All right, the roll call here. All right. Gene Ogle. Here. Tim Watkins.
Here.
Dennis Hart.
Here.
John Davies.
Here.
And Robert Jones here. Okay. We have a continued, on this one, do we just do it by motion and second on the continuance for this first one that was from last month? Is that the way we do it?
Yes.
Okay. The first, you want to just go, do we just go ahead and, I go ahead and mention it on the case number and all that, don't I? Okay. Case number 19-999-05, Midwest Sign Company, a variance request to sign requirements for the property at 14000 East 42nd Street South. This case is to be continued to next month's May the 16th, 2019 meeting of this board. Do I have a motion to continue this case number 19-999-05?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. So we will take the vote. Gene Ogle?
Vote yes.
Tim Watkins?
Yes.
John Davies?
Yes.
Dennis Hart?
Yes.
Robert Jones, yes. So case number 19-999-05 Midwest Sign Company has been continued, that case to May the 16th of 2019. Okay. The first item on the case on the agenda tonight is case number 19-999-07. Bear Tracks Holdings, LLC, a variance request to sign requirements for the property at 4121 South Little Blue Parkway. So do we have our video?
Yes. Momentarily, I'll show you a video.
Okay.
What we have here is requesting 3 types of variances.
Yes.
A variance for 3 additional freestanding monument signs, which they're not really monument signs. They're clusters of sculptures that we look at in our code as being the same as a monument sign. The second variance is needed for one of those bare monument signs having a height that will exceed 8 feet.
Okay.
And then the third variance would be required for having a pole sign along the right-of-way instead of what is allowed as a single monument sign within the front yard area. So, and then, oh wait, I said 3. I meant 4 variances actually, and the fourth being the square footage of facade signage for particularly the east and west sides of the proposed building, because the combination of the regular text sign and a proposed mural that will show bears in the wild, basically, that are sort of the identifier of this chain of restaurants, it's an advertisement, and therefore, in combination with that text writing, would exceed the 10% per facade for both the east and the west sides. So, to give you an idea of the location, this is right adjacent to the Lion's Choice, in front of the parking lot of Menards. Whoop.
Okay.
There we go. This is looking, expand it. I'll start it over again. Okay. This is the site. We're looking due west, and that's Little Blue Parkway. There's the interchange with I-70, and then we're looking on to the east. You can see the existing Menards pole sign that has outlot advertisement potential. Yeah, there's one there, yeah. So you see, whoop. So there's signage there also that they could possibly use in order for wayfinding uses right now. It doesn't require any variance and would be allowed. Additionally, like I said, there's another existing pole sign that the shopping center has that the other two uses are already using down by I-70. Dairy Queen and Lion's Choice are both on this one as well. It's behind the tree that's very visible on the I-70 corridor. So,
You say it's a monument sign there?
no, that's a very tall pylon.
So for both Dairy,
And Dairy Queen
For
and
Menards,
Dairy Queen and
Lion's Choice, and I believe it
are
has
already
blanks.
using that.
they're that big, that's already shown on their.
And then this one, those three stores are also using this existing monument sign that's also
For
at the
Menards.
intersection of Jackson and Little Blue Parkway as well, which shows you where the drive is, so you can come in next to Quick Trip and come in, into the parking lot and access all of those outlots that are along. So, given all this, we basically said all but the pylon variance request just meets 3 of the 6. The pylon request actually, in the opinion of staff, only meets 1 of the 6 criteria,
Okay.
particularly given the other opportunities that are there.
Okay. So. All right. So I guess, so is there someone here that's representing the applicant? Just give us your name and address and so forth.
Tom Parker, 12017 Northwest 138th Street in Piedmont, Oklahoma.
Yes, sure. Okay. And you want to give us a little information here, what your plans are for this new restaurant site?
Okay, yes, sir. This is going to be our first Black Bear Diner in the area. We're doing one in Olathe a few weeks before this one, and then this is going to be the one over here. And normally in our Black Bears, we have very nice carvings outside of bear families or bears. They range from 3 to 4, 5 feet tall at the most in the bears, and they're not branded with Black Bear on them anywhere. They're just scenes. Usually we try to pick something local, to the area. For instance, in Midwest City by the Air Force Base, we put an F-16, with a bear flying it, and these are hugely popular with our guests. A lot of pictures taken that they post up and talk about where they're at and what town they're in. And we like to, put these out as part of the artwork that goes around our building as part of the cabin theme that we go for.
Okay. But the main thing we got is we just had a question on the big pole sign that is that something that you had of all your other restaurants that you had?
The majority of them, yes, unless it's been restricted to the small, like, monument signs that blend in with, the brick and things like that.
Now, is there, with the big sign that Menards uses and Dairy Queen and what's the other restaurant called? Lion's Choice. You could use that, but you don't want to use that, is that what you're saying, for your sign?
We would rather not. I don't know the particulars. Sometimes the landlord restricts us from using that based on the lease agreements. I'm not sure of that at this point, but we like to have our own, logoed sign if possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing you could put and use that and not have the other sign. Is that what the staff is saying?
Well, what we're saying is, if you look at the other outlots, they have monument signs, and they are on these two pole signs.
Okay.
So they have the benefit of the I-70 visibility.
Okay.
They have the benefit of the other pole sign of the wayfinding to show you how to get off Little Blue Parkway into the Menards parking lot to get back to their stores. Plus, they have the benefit of having individual monument signs that are 8 foot tall on their own properties right now. Those
Okay.
two other restaurants.
Okay. So they can put them, you saying they can put those signs not only where you're talking about, but another one on where the restaurant is, or you're just talking about the signs they're using?
He's allowed, just like every lot is allowed one pole sign, or what? Not one pole sign. Confusing people now. One monument, freestanding sign, which in
Okay.
this part of town means a monument sign.
Okay.
They can be 8 feet tall. Plus, because it's part of this shopping center, there's 2 shopping center signs, which are the big, tall Menard signs. And the benefit of actually using those instead of using your own pole sign is that the pole sign on I-70 is visible to the traffic on I-70, and the pole sign at Jackson shows you how to get onto the property, because that's the intersection. It's the
Okay.
wayfinding device to know to turn there at the Quick Trip and come back into the Menards to go to the Lion's Choice and to go to the Dairy Queen.
Okay.
Mr. Parker, is the bear, are we considering them signs, or is that part of the landscaping scheme?
The bears are considered advertisements, and therefore they're considered monument signs. Assuming his pole sign didn't need the variance and was just a monument sign, you still need the variance for the bears, because the bears are monument signs themselves, and therefore, in a sense, the property has 4 monument signs. It would have the sign out front, plus each of the clusters of the bears would be considered an additional sign, and that's why he needs a variance for the bear clusters.
Okay.
So it's not considered landscaping then, the smaller are not considered, it's not.
Well, I mean, they may be decorative, but the fact that they're a logo, they're part of the identity of what the restaurant is. It's advertisement of the restaurant, therefore it's a sign.
Ask a question, is this sign where your restaurant is on the other side towards Menards, or is it between the building and Little Blue Parkway?
The site plan, are you asking the applicant or me? The site plan that was submitted indicates the pole sign would be up front, where you would expect a monument sign to be. The front being Little Blue Parkway. I mean, their front entrance functionally is the back of the building, is toward the parking lot of Menards, functionally. But as far as the street frontage, the only right-of-way, the street frontage is the west side, which is Little Blue Parkway. Does that answer your question?
I bike there all the time, I just didn't know if we considered the front.
Yeah, the plans I show is, it looks like it's on, behind the trash enclosure, wherever that trash enclosure is gonna fall. Looks like over, looks like Little Blue Parkway, and the trash enclosure is right off of that, is kind of what this is showing me. And I believe the pole sign's been made to be 20 feet, and behind that is what I'm shown here.
So what you're saying is a 8-foot monument sign would hurt you all as far as visibility for the potential customers? Is that kind of what?
I don't believe it would hurt us.
It
You know,
wouldn't,
obviously-
the monument sign wouldn't hurt you, is what you're saying,
Yeah.
if you didn't have the pylon sign,
Yeah.
the big 20-foot or whatever it is. It's 20 foot, I guess, it's 300 inches, I think.
Yeah, 20 feet is the last I'd heard on that.
Okay, but it's something that you could live with the monument sign if,
If we,
Yeah,
of course we
yeah.
have to, yes.
okay,
Rather
All right.
not, but,
I understand. Well, we try to work with
Sure.
our prospective, well, I call them developers and people that come into our city. We want you to feel welcome. I mean, we really mean that. And so I had a question for the staff. Did you get any calls on this?
No, we did not.
Okay, my other question, I think it was last year when we had, where they redeveloped there at 39th Street and 291, used to be the Italian restaurant, and they tore it down, and they put up the new, you know where I'm talking about, I was gonna ask, Zio's, where the Zio's used to be, and they put in a new, what is it, Verizon, they put in some kind of a milkshake place or whatever it was, or restaurant.
Smoothie King and
And didn't they have a situation similar to this on variances on the facade signs? This would have been last year, I think, maybe in the spring, or
The smoothie, they had a variance for,
they had several variances.
it was
if I
on the
remember.
it was on the wall.
Had to do with the-
They're a strip center, which is different than a single occupant building.
Okay,
And they're allowed 2 facade signs per customer entrance.
and they had like 3
And they had
businesses there.
3 because we're gonna have at least 2 on the front, or 1 on the front and back or whatever.
Mhm.
But the third one was going to be on that side where the drive-through
Okay,
of the smoothie place was.
okay.
That's why.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Yes, I do.
So, go ahead.
These bears that I see in the pictures, are they at the front door, and it's a front door facing Blue Parkway?
Looks like we have some on the front, and then up and further up in the parking lot is kind of what I'm seeing here, if I can see this correctly. And usually they're clusters, there'll be a theme, like sometimes they're fishing, or, or they're dressed in military uniforms and they're standing there, and they just kind of cluster them together. You know, there's a blacksmith in one of our deals where they've got, they're pounding on the thing there. So we try to make them similar to what's going on in the city, or what the history of the city has been.
So if I came to that restaurant, how would I get into the building?
Let's see here.
Here's the site plan here. This is what they're talking about, welcome there. Here,
We've got
and then they
small
come in-
pictures they
come in
gave me
from this
here,
side.
so
And
it
you
looks
have to turn
like,
in. You have to turn in there at the Menards sign, and you go around to the
Right,
back.
right.
You don't have access.
looks like the
to that.
back of us is to Little
You
Blue
do, but you have to
Parkway.
go down.
Is that kind of what you see there on yours?
That's what I thought.
No, well,
You have
the,
to tell me.
the building is oriented, the entrance is on the Menard side.
So it's on the east side.
On the
It's on the east side.
Right.
Staff requested that they modify their west side to be at least a faux entrance, so the building will look like it's facing Little Blue Parkway, even though functionally it will be operating from the back
East.
side,
The back
from
side.
the east
East
side.
side of the building. Okay, that's all I want to know. Thank you. And these bears presumably will be mostly by the entrance.
It looks like one is near the entrance and the other one is out in a flower bed, probably further out in the parking lot.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Now, these, you got Bear Family, Welcome Bear. Are those the three they're calling those
Yes.
signs themselves, but they're at three different places? That kind of where you come into the facility and then you go around, you got, be on the south side of the building where you have two more of them kind of at each end, at each corner, kind of?
Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
And then the ones that are the murals or along the facade are the ones that are shown in here as, where is it? Where they show the scenery and things like that. Is that kind of like right here? Where they show a mountain in the back?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And those are what will be on the facade of the buildings?
Yeah, they're affixed to the side of the
Okay.
building, kind of like picture framed out. And they're not branded in any way either. They're just a scenic photo.
Okay, and so they're on the, well,
They would probably be on each side
are
of
they
that.
going to each corner and on
Yeah.
each side, so there'd be four of them, is that?
No, I believe
just
there's just two.
The two, okay,
Yeah, there's one on the Little Blue Parkway side and one, looks like where you come off the freeway ramp to that side over there.
okay, so there's two of them.
Yeah,
There's two that need variances. There's actually three on the building. The one on the south side doesn't require a variance, so it's not subject to your, even though they provide a picture of them. Like, I didn't know which mural was going on which facade.
I'm trying to get mine, I'm trying to find it.
So,
Okay. So you've got actually, you saying you have two facade, I mean, they're actually on the building itself?
because the south facade is longer, and that's the deep dimension. So there was no need for a variance because there's plenty of square footage.
Okay,
That's why it's just the two sides.
on the shorter sides of the rectangular shape of the building, right? Is that what you're saying?
On the east and west side.
On the
on
east and west side are
sides.
the only ones that
And-
are,
and that's where
that
you-
you have to vote on
And you're
tonight.
saying, the city's saying that they need to be not as big, is that what you're saying?
Well,
Or it's large.
with the combination of the lettering for the name of the restaurant and the mural, that's what we define as signage exceeds 10%. Therefore, they need a variance in order to have that mural
Okay,
on the east or a mural on the west.
okay. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say here, what are their options here? They've got to be able to, the people have to be able to see what's there. I mean, how are they gonna make them smaller than, or are we supposed to give them that variance they're gonna ask for here? Is that what we're looking at?
I'm just
Right.
stating the ordinance.
Okay, okay.
And the ordinance, and the way we interpret the ordinance, we see that as signage that exceeds 10%. So if they're gonna put it up there, they're gonna need a variance from you.
Okay. I was asking you, did you say that, I'm just having a question here.
Okay, sure.
Is the monument sign, would that be if say, the one that's got the biggest, I guess you would call it, the pylon sign, if we go with the monument sign, then and it's 8 foot or whatever it is, does that take care of that particular part of of the issue here?
I
If
mean-
they don't build the pylon? I'm just asking.
I mean, we're not, you're asking for it, the variance is for the type of sign, not for the height of sign. The height's sort of automatically taken care of
Right.
by which type of sign's allowed. So if you allowed a pole sign, then he could have a 25-foot sign.
Right.
If you didn't allow the pole sign and said you have to have a monument sign like the
Okay.
code requires, then by definition, that monument sign could not exceed 8 feet.
So, I mean, as I say here, for you all now, for your business there, you would need, I mean, you're wanting both variances, one for the tall sign or the pole sign, and so forth, and then also for the square footage of the signs on the facade. Is that right? Am I reading that right?
There's 4 of them.
4 signs.
No,
There-
4
Or
variances.
variances.
4 variances.
Because you've
Okay.
got variances for the
Okay.
bears,
The bears.
and then
Okay.
you got a variance for the bear height, because one of the bears is taller than 8 feet.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, and then you have the square footage issue, and then you have whether or not they can have a pylon instead of a monument. So you have 4 issues to decide.
So excuse me, we have only one bear that's 8 foot tall.
Yeah, it's the big one that kind of greets you as you pull into the parking lot, basically. It does hold a welcome sign. It's the only one that has any type of, any sign at all, but it just says welcome.
Is it 8 feet tall? Is that what it is?
Yes, yeah. Some of them are even taller than that, I believe. It's 8 to 10, I believe.
Is this the
Yes.
one we're looking at right
Yeah,
here?
that's similar to that, yes.
How tall is it?
They range from 8 to 12, just kind of depends on some of the cities that we're in.
Okay.
That we can't have one over 8 feet?
I mean, if he kept it at 8 feet, he wouldn't
He
even
wouldn't need
need
the
a
variance, right?
variance for the height.
Okay.
Is that a possibility?
It's a possibility, but we're trying to bring you Black Bear in its best form, is what we're trying to do. And with that, things are big at Black Bear. The food is big, the portions are big, and our big Black Bear is big too. So we'd like to keep it as intact as we can, as we have in our other communities mostly.
And what do you say the problem with the rest of the bear families are?
Including that bear, is that they are monument signs and you can only have one. And he already has one that he's turning into a pylon sign. So he's wanting 4 freestanding signs as we identify it rather than one.
So you're considering all these, the ones that are the bears and so forth and so on, where there's,
Each cluster of
Increased
bears
cluster,
is a
increased
freestanding sign. So he has 3 clusters of bears, 3 freestanding signs plus a 4th freestanding sign is the pole sign.
okay.
Or if it's kept a monument sign, it'd be the 4th.
You know, I only see 3 bear families. Where's this other sign? Is it you talking about the mural? Or what?
No, the pylon.
The pylon.
Pylon is, well, they show
Well,
it
he wants
here.
a pole sign.
Why don't we separate this into bears and pylons and monument?
Here's the,
Okay, I'm sorry.
okay, okay.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. Mr. Chairman, could we divide this up into the bears? What?
Do we,
That's, ask the city staff. We'll ask the city staff.
In some cities, it is,
In some cities considered art?
yes.
I suggest you sort of fragment your discussion
Yes.
and start with each of the variance requests and talk about the one variance request and another variance request.
Yes.
And we'll go through all four
Okay.
in order.
All right. Okay. So we go down here, determine practical difficulties, blah, 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 right?
No, I'm saying go through the practical difficulties of the four. So.
But that's
let's
what
say-
you've got here. You've got them listed. 1 through
Right.
6, don't you?
No, I'm not talking about the difficulties. I'm talking about the variances, the four variances. So like start off with the monument and then go through the 6 issues for the monument issue. And then
Wait.
do the murals and go through the 6
So we've got
issues for the
murals, we've got, this is convoluted to say the least. All right. I don't think we've.
In the first request, there's little numbers that we could go through and see how that works through the rest of these requirements. Let's take the bears first.
All right, where we got here? It's in the. No, freestanding.
Number 2,
Is the bear welcome sign?
let's deal with that first and then go to the second one. See if we
So
can-
why don't we go through the different types of signs? Let's start off with the difficult one first. We'll do the pole sign and finish arguing that out and then go through the rest
Alright.
of them. So the first question is, you need to go through the 6 criteria on whether the freestanding sign out front that's required to be a monument sign by the code, you're going to let it be a 25-foot pole sign instead.
20 foot. Okay. Nobody else has any signs out there in that area
No.
none.
Everybody else has monument signs except for the
On both
shopping
sides,
center
on both,
sign.
okay, but.
Except for the shopping center signs.
So
Those
both
are the
sides of
other
the intersection on that side of I-70 is all 8-foot monument signs, except for the one that's the entrance as you go into Menards and all those.
one. Right.
Is it possible for you all to go with putting up there in where the other signs are for Dairy Queen in there and that particular one that's already there? Is that possible that you could use that?
Yes, if it can be part of our lease. I know, like I said, sometimes.
Well, to me, it would, if it
Yeah.
takes care of at least one of these issues here with the 20-foot pole, couldn't you go with that? Because the other businesses in there are using that same big sign. So
If
that would,
that's available to us, yes, we could.
that would take
Sometimes
care of
there's-
that
yeah.
part of it, right?
Well, they'd be better visibility anyway to have your sign on those as opposed
Yeah,
to a
I
25
would think
foot
so. I
pole.
mean, it's gonna, if you're driving in there, they're gonna see it. I mean.
We hope.
One of the
Because it
problems
does
is that
set down in the bottom a little bit, and you see the big signs up, but when you get down into the.
you
after
can't
look
find
exit it-
where you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's still. street
But it's
level.
still high enough where you can actually see it. I mean, I've eaten there at the
Lion's Choice.
Lion's Choice, and we didn't have any, I mean, you could get in there, it's not you can see the building, and I'm not saying it wouldn't be good to have the pole sign, but if the rest of the businesses in there are out using them, it'd certainly be easier if we could get by on this particular one, where you could just use the one that's there.
Well, the big sign that's at Menards helps out coming from I-70 that building is actually there.
Right.
Like Lion's Choice is actually there. But from my own experience, I had a hard time finding Lion's Choice once I got down in there.
Yeah, I agree with that, because
And,
it sets down so much lower after you get in.
And finally, we made it. And then why didn't I see that before? But it isn't obvious. Now, I don't know whether we got there, it looked kind of rough, so I don't know whether we got there before they put the signs in or not. And I haven't been back, so it's obvious where the Dairy Queen is. It wasn't obvious how to get to the Lion's Choice. Now, here's the next building down as I read these
Yes.
plans.
From Lion's Choice.
And it looks to me like with the bears out there, it's obvious where to go if I wanted to go to your place. I think what's necessary in that location, or at least from a standpoint of a patron, is first I gotta find it off I-70, and that would get me close. So the other signs need to be where I can see them down in that valley. So I think your best bet is to put your, if you can, put your sign up there on the existing pole sign at Menards.
That would,
You guys are gonna be so busy.
Well, we hope, if people can find it, we will.
They will.
well,
Because to me, that's not the same, because when I drive by those, I don't relate it to what's down in the bottom that I'm looking for. When I get down in there, then I start looking for the places I'm going, just to be honest with you, because.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah. The I-70 signs just kind of blend in with everything else. But obviously, we'll.
Well, at least get you off
whatever
the right
guys
exit.
decide.
well,
It does give you the exit sign, place to get off, though.
you're saying with the pole sign there that's gonna be on the south end of your property, it's gonna be easier for them to find it? Is that what you're
I
telling me?
think once they get down to ground level and on street level, yes,
That's what the reason,
yes.
correct? Well, are there three of them?
Is your business going to be the first business north of I-70 on the,
Well, there's actually two more lots, I think, isn't there, in there?
I believe so, yes.
No, they've got Quick Trip and Lions Mane there.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying there's another, there are outlots that are,
Oh,
There
yeah.
are two outlots
there's two more outlots there, isn't there?
south. And of course, they're gonna be accessed the same way he is. Everybody turns at Quick Trip. Everything's going to Quick Trip.
everything, that's the only entrance in there. You-
That's the only way to get there. The Menards, to everything, you're turning at the same driveway location
Yeah, that,
for everything.
Okay. My other question, would possibly having those, even though we'd have to take a variance for it, on the bears there, out in front and so forth, wouldn't that help you as far as visibility without the pylon sign? They would be able to see those.
The taller than 8 foot will, the other ones are small, they just kind of blend in.
You wouldn't even see them, is
You
that what
wouldn't
you're?
even see those, yeah, they just kind of blend in, you know, they're just small.
from my standpoint, it seems to me that if we can remove the pylon sign, get this, and then go with the welcoming bear.
Maybe the welcoming bear being taller than 8 foot, is that what we're saying here? I mean, we have to do one or the other, don't we? I mean, as far as I can see, we gotta help these people out. We can't just make it to where these people can't find it, but, this is a little difficult. Do you all have anything else that you've got questions on over here on my left or right?
I would like to just throw this in that as the west elevation, which is the one that's going to be visible from Little Blue Parkway, the sign on the west elevation is probably close to street level from Little Blue Parkway. So as you go on Little Blue Parkway, you look directly east, you will see this elevation with this sign, probably right there.
You're talking about the elevation on the
This is the west elevation, which is gonna face Little Blue Park.
okay.
So on the building, you'll be able to read the name of the restaurant
As you're
driving down Little Blue
So you'll be
Park.
able to see it there.
Right there at probably vehicle level.
The same level as if you would have had a monument sign at street level.
Well, it doesn't make sense to have any monument sign out there when you're considering those bears monument signs, right?
They're in the back, though. They're behind that one.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got, well, they're coming the other direction too. I mean, you've got not just off of I-70, you've got coming from the other way direction.
You want a pole sign between the building and Little Blue Parkway?
Yes, it sits right on that corner, it looks like. Yes.
It's right here.
Yeah, I see.
It's a hair confusing because we're front and back of the building.
Yeah.
So he wants it here at the southwest corner of the property, the pylon.
Okay.
And then I guess these other particular, what they call them, welcome bear family, and you're gonna see those as they come in into the place, but I would think you could see those, this particular, the tall one, isn't that the one, the welcome bear, is that the one with the tall?
Yeah, that's
On the
the one
southwest
holding,
corner
like
of
he had
the-
the picture holding the big welcome sign.
That would be, and that would certainly be seen if it's a taller one than 8 foot, wouldn't it? I mean, if
Yeah,
it's-
that's usually as you're entering into our property.
But I mean,
That's
if
where
it's
you see
there and
that
it's 10 or 12 foot, would that, I mean, I'm just asking, would that help you as far as versus the pylon sign itself, if it was taller there to welcome bear? I'm just asking.
Yeah, it absolutely would help, yes.
I have a question to the city. You're wanting us to decide on the pole sign by itself, make a decision?
Yeah, we've got 4 issues to look at. And this is the first variance issue. The pole sign.
I guess that's what we're-
I think we can, from a personal standpoint, excuse me. I'm loud enough, I expect everybody to hear me. My feelings were we can eliminate the pylon sign if we've got that big bear. That would look, me as a spectator or a visitor coming in, I can see that big bear. I'm looking for that, I think. I would know that was, I can turn in here and I can come back to it. The pylon sign, it's kind of like we're double dipping here. We've got it plus the other big sign that we're confused.
So we got to make a decision on the pylon if we,
The pole sign.
pole sign.
I don't.
Pylon.
I don't personally care for the pole sign idea. I don't think it's needed. I don't think it's necessary. You have enough signage on both front sides of frontage, I-70 and Little Blue Parkway, accessing the big Menards pylon signs. Now, as far as the other stuff goes, it's all part of branding, in my opinion. But the pole sign, I don't see as to where that's beneficial for anybody anyway. And once you get to that point where you can figure out where it is, well, if you see it's right under Menards, it's right by the Menards. I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist, and I can figure that one out.
You're right.
So,
Are we ready to take a motion on the
Pole sign.
I'd like to make a motion that we, if it's okay, that we do not.
Do we have to do that first, or do we wait? You want to do all 4 of them? then-
That would help the whole thing.
Okay.
I think it would simplify things.
So, taking out the pylon, you call it a pylon sign, whatever, pole sign, it says here pylon. Taking that out and maybe possibly helping them a little bit more with a higher here. But we'll have
do it. Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
deal with that later.
Yeah.
Let's decide what we're gonna do on the pylon
The
sign.
pole sign.
But the pole, well, they call it pylon here, but you call it pole sign, I guess whatever you wanna call it. On their site plan, they call it pylon sign, but, good Lord.
Can I make a motion then?
Yeah.
I move that we do not allow the pole sign as we see here.
We have to present it as a positive.
Yes, you have to,
Yeah, I have to set a motion. Right, well, that's what we,
Yeah, so I move we approve
I move we approve
the pole sign.
the pole sign.
the pole sign? I thought you said.
That we don't.
No?
That we do approve it, and then we vote no.
Everything has to be presented as a positive.
Okay.
And then if we're gonna,
And then if we vote it down, then I mean,
yes, I'm sorry,
Okay.
that's just Robert's Rules of Order.
okay.
I'll put forth a motion to approve the variance for the pole sign.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right.
And we have the discussion.
Second was Gene.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, do we have vote now on that, right?
We'll, a little more discussion if you want. Usually should
Yeah.
vote ahead of time. Make the motion and then discuss, but we didn't do it that time.
Well, do we have to vote? I mean.
Well, we can vote on the pole sign if you want to.
Let's vote on that.
Okay, let's vote on that.
Well, since we have a motion and a second in place,
Go ahead and vote. All right, here we go. Let me get the,
The number.
yeah. All right, let's see, this is, all right. Gene Ogle,
No.
Tim Watkins,
no.
John Davies,
No.
Dennis Hart? No. And Robert Jones, no. So we're not gonna approve the pole sign. That's part of that's the first part of this application. All right. Now, what's the next issue? Is
You can, I guess,
can we,
Freestanding monument.
the freestanding monuments with the bears, is that?
yeah, what it amounts to is he's allowed, he'd have to get a variance for the 3 bears, or the 3 clusters, if he had a monument sign. Now, if he doesn't put up the monument sign at all, he only needs a variance for 2 of the bears, because one of the bears can be the allowed monument sign.
This thing is just,
It's actually
So, well, let's
easy.
ask him, what are you gonna do?
You're allowed one monument.
You're allowed 1 monument
okay,
sign.
so.
Period. So if you're gonna have 4 that are considered, even though they're not really, but they are considered that way, then you have to vote, give them a variance on the 3. That's just the way it breaks down.
Yeah, okay.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the 3 bear monuments, excluding at this time the one that's 8 foot tall. Can we vote on that separately?
No, you just need, that height issue is a separate issue.
Okay, all right, good.
And and placement's not your
Yeah.
issue either, so.
Okay.
If you were thinking about putting that out front, that
No.
doesn't matter.
So
Okay.
we,
So I have a-
So you-
I move we approve the 3, it is 3, isn't it? 3 bear clusters.
Yes.
Second.
All right. So here's the vote on that.
Well, now, wait a minute, this is all 3 bear clusters are gonna get approved? Or
Yes.
not?
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
Okay. As monument signs,
yes.
irrespective if he uses one as a,
It
They're
doesn't
all
matter.
doesn't matter, they're all 3
You're
approved.
authorizing him to put in a regular
Right,
one if he
okay.
decides to
Just
put
make
in
sure that's
another
what we're
monument
doing.
sign, because you're doing 3 extra, which are the bears.
Okay.
All right, if we got that straightened out.
The 3 bears and golden.
Okay, so, all right. Gene Ogle,
I vote yes.
Tim Watkins.
Yes.
John Davies.
Yes.
Dennis Hart. Robert Jones, yes. So the 3 bear clusters are as shown on the site plan, correct? Is that right?
Yes.
We've approved that, the variance.
Not necessarily their placement as shown on the site plan, but the fact that there are 3 on the site
Okay,
plan, yes.
Okay,
There's 3 there.
Yes.
all right. And then we have, now what's our next one on the list? We have one that's,
The height.
The height of the one bear that has the welcome sign.
okay, so that's another issue.
Yeah, whether it can exceed 8 feet if you want it to.
How is 8 feet?
Well,
for you? That seems pretty high to me.
Well, not really, that's just,
Well,
it's just,
I mean,
you know.
it'd be plenty.
Don't we need a height so we can issue a variance based on how many feet above 8?
Only if it is above 8. If
Well, I
it's
know, but if he doesn't need 8, he doesn't even need the variance.
Right.
So, but do we need an exact height so we can get a variance of 1 foot, 2 foot,
Right.
3 foot, 4
Yes.
foot?
Okay, so we need,
Okay, that's what I thought.
all right, so on that one, we have the welcome bear. Is that,
So do you know what you're gonna do or want to do? 8 foot, 9 foot, 11 foot?
I prefer it to be probably closer to the 12 feet.
Okay, so you're looking at for a variance of 4 feet.
4 feet?
That one, that one's probably at least 11 would be my guess.
Okay, so in other words, if we get a variance of 4 feet,
Then it can go up to 12.
Not-
And you
not-
go up
not
to 12.
exceed 4 feet.
Yeah, we
Not
can,
to exceed.
that would be perfect if we
would
could
that
do
work
yes.
for you all? Okay. All right. Now we've got another,
Well,
I have a
let's
mo-
deal with this one.
okay, that's what I'm saying. And now,
Otherwise, we're all
we-
going to get confused.
do we go with a motion on the variance for up to 12 feet, a 4-foot variance, okay? That way. All right? So do I have a motion for that? For the bear with the welcome sign on it?
I'll put forth a motion to approve a height variance for the welcome bearer of up to 12 feet.
Okay.
Or up to a 4-foot variance, I'm sorry.
Yeah, which would make it 12.
Don't mean to confuse anybody on that one.
Do I have a second for that? All right, so, for the hike, this one. All right. Gene Ogle,
I vote yes.
Tim Watkins,
Yes.
John Davies,
Yes.
Dennis Hart, and Robert Jones, yes. So the hike has been approved for up to 4-foot variance above the 8-foot, which would make it a 12-foot.
Appreciate that, thank you.
All right?
That'd be great.
So that takes care of that part of the,
Now we have just the murals, correct? Okay.
and those are the ones with the
Scenic.
scenic.
Yeah.
And there's 4 of those.
No, there's 2 of those.
Two
You're
of those
dealing
on
with
Two that need variance,
Are they on the west side of the building? Is that where
east
the-
and west, are correct?
East and west, is that where they're gonna be? One on the west side, one on the east side of the building? Is that right?
Looks like, I don't know what direction.
And the variance is not for murals. The
It's
variance
for the
is,
size, correct?
it's there. I've got the figures here.
Okay, so we need,
For the
You-
square
you-
footage?
You need a square foot because you have text on the building. In
okay,
addition to that, you need variances of 38 and 151 square feet.
so you got 2 variances, 38.8, 151.8 square feet.
'Cause Those
Is
are
that
the-
correct? Those are the variances for the 2 east and west facades.
So we can actually just make a motion based upon the request
Yes.
on the murals.
Okay, okay.
I'll do that. I'll make a motion to approve request on the variance on the murals.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. All right, for the variances on the 2 murals of 38.8 square feet and 151.8 square feet. All right, so here's the vote. Gene Ogle,
I vote yes.
Tim Watkins.
Yes.
John Davies.
Yes.
Dennis Hart. Yes. Robert Jones, yes. So the murals have been approved on the variances of 38.8 square feet and 151.8 square feet. Now, is that it? So,
Good luck to you.
well.
you, gentlemen.
I hope
Appreciate
that-
you very much.
we
Hopefully your
really,
food's good. I'll find out.
well, we will. We want to work with you folks. I just want you to know that.
Absolutely, and I appreciate your
And
time.
I think
and your
I
patience
think
through this
we
process.
call it compromise, and so we want to work with you all, so you're happy too.
Yes, absolutely.
So I guess this ends case number, Bear Tracks Holdings LLC 19-999-07. Has been approved with all the, what do you call it? Variances, not variances, amendments? I don't know what you call them. Okay.
Go on.
All right, we ready? Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it.
I'll go down there and see if I can find it when you build it.
I'm sure,
I said I'll go down there and see if I can find it after you build it.
we'll be down there. All right. Well, thank you so much. Okay, our next on the agenda tonight is case number 19-999-08, Clover Communities Independence LLC. Variance request to the height standards for the property at 19201 and 19301 Eastland Center Court. And so I guess we have the video here.
In short, staff is requesting a variance to allow a 50-foot 52-foot structure. It's 40 feet high, and we need variance for encroachment of 6 foot, which is half of 12, which is the height of the pitch of the roof. The code for an O1 district only allowed a 40-foot roof, and this roof actually ended up being 52. It was reviewed incorrectly as an R district rather than an O district, so this was an error on staff's part. So staff is the applicant actually of this, rather than the developer.
Okay.
And so staff is actually, the city is requesting this variance. There's actually two parts to this variance because this was a 2-lot development, but only the first phase has been built. So we're asking that the variance also apply to the lot where the building has not been built yet.
Okay.
Although code allows us an extension up to a year beyond the 6 months, so we would request to make it an entire year.
Okay.
If they need more than that, if their second phase comes in later, then they'll just have to come back
And get another
and
extension?
get another variance, because
Okay,
they
variance on
can't get any more extensions.
Well, but another variance. Okay.
What are we looking at?
This is the new
This is the new
part,
elderly apartments, or,
elderly, it's for
well,
seniors.
senior, I'm sorry.
Old
Seniors.
folks.
Senior
This is
citizens
pretty much
housing
a
at
slam dunk.
the end
That's
of
all yes.
Might as well just do it.
Eastland.
I don't think we really, okay.
Well, I'll do the video and you'll get an idea
Okay.
of where we're looking at here. So
Okay.
you can see the height there. And we're at the end of the cul-de-sac in Eastland.
Mm-hmm.
The bike trail is to the east of that. There's that BioLife
Okay.
plasma place. And then this is the existing apartments up there that used to be called the Dunes. Now it's called the Eastland Apartments.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
There's that,
They've been in
and
there
that's the
several years.
vacant lot for the second phase right there.
Okay.
Staff believes it meets all 6 of the criteria.
Yeah.
And
Well, I saw that on the staff comments, so that's pretty much well, I guess you used the word maybe slam dunk, I guess. Do I?
Would you like a motion?
Yeah, go ahead and just make a motion.
Well,
Probably not any phone calls on this, correct?
none at all.
Okay. I would call and see, I would ask if anybody wants to stand in opposition to it. If not, I think we ought to just move this one down the road.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve this request for a height variance on the property at 19201 and 19301 East Eastland Center Court.
Are we still in public open?
Yes.
Well, I guess,
We need
I
to
guess I was supposed to say the
That's why
public
we're
hearing's
supposed to
been.
ask for anybody in.
Is there anyone here that
opposition?
opposed to this
We close
variance?
the public hearing.
All right, so that being said, this, we'll have to repeat it, but the public hearing has been closed. All right, now you can go ahead and redo.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the variance request by the city for a lot property at 19201 and 19301 East Eastland Center Court, case number 19999-08.
Second.
Second, all right.
And we want to make sure that we've got the 1 year on it, another 6 months.
Yes.
Another 6 months on it. We don't have to add that to it, do we?
It's in the report.
Okay,
So
all
you
right,
approve
all
it
right.
as requested.
Okay, all right. So now the vote. Gene Ogle,
Yes.
Tim Watkins?
Yes.
John Davies?
Yes.
Dennis Hart? Yes. Robert Jones, yes. So case number 19-999-08, Clover Communities Independence LLC has been approved. All right, that takes care of that one. The next on the list is case number 19-999-09, Dana Blay A variance request to setback requirements for the property at 26714 East Bunchu Road. So, that's you. So now we go for the video.
This is an application by Mr. Blay for a minimum interior setback requirement for the principal structure, which in this case is the house, in an RA district. The minimum setback is 35 feet. The applicant seeks to construct a room addition onto the side of this house, which is only 11 feet from the west property line, which is roughly where this fence is. They're therefore requiring a variance of 24 feet. This is the applicant site, the property in question. This was built some years ago, prior 1995, which was prior to our current standards by many years, 14 years roughly. You can see it's a typical single-family home out in the eastern part of the city. This is the, hang on, I'll let this go around. This is the front here. We have another one I'll show.
Okay.
Was that the side of the house that you want
That is correct.
to put the addition on?
Yeah.
And the fence is the
Okay,
boundary
wait a
line?
minute, there's another one here we're gonna
Okay,
see.
that's the front of the house.
Okay, this is the front of the site, the applicant's house. And we're gonna go around again. This is the area of the setback here, and then the fence, which is the neighbor's property. So we pan around further, this is the neighbor's garage. And there's pretty good distance between the house and then the property, the neighbor's house, which is here. I don't know, that's about 100 feet or so. As we pan around, you can see the neighbor's house, and then Bunchu Road. We're looking west down Bunchu Road, and then across the Bunchu Road, there's basically a farm field. Most of the houses out here on larger lots. And then back around to here's the applicant's a driveway, and the garage is on the east side of their house. And again, there is so the addition onto the house will not be any further than this wall as you see it now.
Okay.
It will not project into this side yard any more than what's out there already.
Right, okay.
Would not what?
Will not
extend
encroach or
It'd just
extend
be a
into this setback.
prolongation of the west.
The
west side
addition
of the
will
street.
be even with this wall of the house.
Back in the back?
Well, as it goes back, it's just gonna
The
extend.
addition they're
pro-
proposing will
pro-
not be any further
production.
than this wall as you see it.
It's just gonna extend to the, is that to the north, isn't it?
To the south.
Okay. Anyway, this is, you still don't understand?
I'm sorry for being so dense, but where's the addition gonna be? In the back of the house?
No, it's gonna be here in the front,
In the front?
yeah.
Yes.
But that's not the request. The request relates to the addition being into, there's plenty of room on the front. There's not a variance for the front.
It's the
It's only
side,
this side.
and that will extend to the fence then?
No, it'll extend to right even with the wall,
Of the
with this
house?
wall of the
the
house
house.
now.
Yeah, you wanna, give us your name and, well, do you want to
Hi, I'm
speak?
Dana Blay,
Okay,
DBL
Dana.
Architecture. I'm the architect for the owners.
Mhm.
And we're adding on to the south of the building, even with the existing west facade. So the reason is there's the son had a horrible accident and he's quadriplegic. And
boy.
his current bedroom that they have isn't big enough for a wheelchair and a bed at the same time. So we're proposing to add to the south approximately,
Which is the front of the house?
which is the front of the house.
Thank you.
It faces Bunchu and so we're not intending to go any closer to the property line than the existing house is right now.
Okay.
And back when the building was built in '95, I believe the setback was 8 feet. And so there's the conservative, there's the variable, different setbacks that they used to have, an 8-foot and a 25-foot, a 35-foot. So now, with the current side yard setback, that prohibits you from being able to add on at all the way we're proposing. So it was kind of a shock to find out that that was the side yard setbacks when I found out. I found out after submitting drawings for a permit, because I assumed it had to have been the 8-foot. So anyway, that's, if you take a side yard on both sides, it's a 100-foot piece of property, 35 on this side, 35 on that side, you're only left with 30 feet of property left over to be able to add on to, and that would be at the front door, so you
Right.
can't really do that.
No.
So that's the idea. So we're gonna add on a nice bedroom in the front, and then like a porch that would be covered, deck for him to go out and get fresh air right out from his bedroom, and a ramp that will bring him back down to the garage or to the driveway so that he can get into a car very easily, as opposed to now, they have to take him down the front steps, and it's a real nightmare to get out. So
Okay.
that's the idea.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Do we have anybody here opposed to this, this applicant? Seeing none of that, we can go ahead and close this public hearing, can't we? Is there any, nobody else is here to speak? So we can go ahead and close the public hearing and make our decision. Thank you for coming. All right. So, I might add
It
on,
meets all the requirements, and I think this is a reasonable request.
yeah,
Don't see as to where it would hurt anybody,
no.
so I'd be willing to make a motion to approve as requested.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Now we will vote. Gene Ogle,
Yes.
Tim Watkins,
Yes.
John Davies,
Yes.
Dennis Hart, Robert Jones, yes. So case number 19-999-09, Dana Blay, a variance request to setback requirements for the property at 26714 East Bunchy Road has been approved unanimously. Thank you. We appreciate you coming out. That's, okay. Now, our last on the agenda tonight is case number 19-999-10, Builders Development Corporation, a variance request to setback requirements for an accessory building for the property at 621 South Hardy Avenue. So we will have our video first.
Yes, in this case, the applicant, they seek a variance for the minimum interior setback requirement for accessory building, which is 5 feet. The applicant's garage they built there, as you can see, is less than a foot from the north property line. There was a garage there before that was demolished, and that they rebuilt it. Okay, we can go around the site here so you can see. Again, that's the neighbor's properties. The property line is probably about right where that eave is. We're going around to a house to the north. And again, and then there's the garage, and then this is the backyard of the site.
Okay, and that's
We
the
have
house.
another one here to show also. Okay, this is the neighbor's house to the north. This is the driveway that they have not paved yet. There's a concrete drive. It's gonna go to the garage in the back. They started on that, but have not completed it. Again, this shows it a little bit better, how close it is. It's a single-car garage, typical wood frame type garage. And then this is the backyard area. The house is still somewhat under construction. They're close to being finished, or not construction, rehabilitation. There's the backyard area. And the back of the house is kind of right where we're standing, close to where we're standing.
Okay. Got a big tree on, several big trees.
So in here, it has a little person door there on the south side of the house, on the garage.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's, you can see how close it is to the north property line.
So the building next to it belongs to the other house?
That is correct. And I think the architect, the plot plan shows that the other house, that the garage on the neighboring property is probably about the same distance from the property line as this one.
So there's about 2 foot between them, roughly?
Yeah, maybe
Maybe. Okay.
1.5 to 2 feet.
Okay. Okay. Now, do we have someone here for the applicant that wishes to speak to the board?
Hi, I'm Adrian Fight, and I work as a planner for Builders Development Corporation.
Can you speak up a little bit?
Sorry. You want me to repeat my name? Or? Yeah, I'm Adrian Fight, and I work as a planner for Builders Development Corporation.
Okay. All right, so you all are just gonna pretty much, basically, you just demolish the old garage that was there. It was falling in from what the city's got on their reports.
So-
And you just put it back in the same place, I presume, didn't you?
That's basically what happened. We had to deconstruct the garage, just the damage to it was serious. So that's really, the garage was just put back on the same concrete slab that it was there before.
Okay. And then you're putting in a new driveway that will,
Yes. If we can keep the garage, yes, we'll pave the driveway all the way up to
Okay.
the garage.
okay. All right. According to the city here, you've pretty much all the determination of practical difficulties is, except for the number 1 is all yeses on all the other 5. So I think it goes without saying, I think this is one that's, I don't see any problem with approving it, but that's just me. I think I don't have anything else to say. Do you guys have any other questions?
Do we have any people who don't like it?
Is there anyone here that's opposed to this applicant? Okay.
Were there any calls on this one?
There were 1 or 2. Usually we get calls about these things. People don't know what it is.
Oh, okay.
Once we explain it, they don't have
So
any
nobody was
objection.
really up
Against-
in arms over
No.
this deal?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Do you all?
We're happy.
I don't have any other questions. Does anyone here on the board have any other?
No,
All right, so the
close the public.
the public hearing has been closed and no further testimony will be accepted. Now we'll take a vote on this. Do I have a motion to approve
I
this?
think there was some uniqueness to this. There was already a slab for the garage.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I guess you'd have to say that too. Yeah, you could have a yes there
Well,
also.
this was just built, just on the old footprint, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
on the
what I-
same, yeah. So, do we have a motion to approve this? Excuse me, this case number 19-999-10, Builders Development Corporation, a variance request to setback requirements for an accessory building for the property at 621 South Hardy Avenue.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, now we can vote on this one. Gene Ogle,
Yes.
Tim Watkins,
Yes.
John Davies,
Yes.
Dennis Hart? Yes. Robert Jones, yes. So case number 19-999-10, Builders Development Corporation, has been approved. Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate you coming out. Okay. All right, on the approval of minutes, I looked over them before I came tonight. Everything looked like it was A-OK, so we'll just approve the minutes from the February 21st, 2019, March the 21st, 2019. We will just approve by voice. Those in favor of approving those minutes from those two dates, say yes.
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 Yes. Those opposed, say no. The yeses have it.
Yeah, I would like to mention that on the February 21st meeting, it was brought up during the last meeting that there was an error, and so I went back in and checked it and revised the error.
Okay, so it's okay.
It has been revised and is correct now.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So, this meeting has been adjourned.